Skulls are awesome. They're the last remnant of somebody whose entire existence, entire consciousness was housed in that tiny little bit of calcium. It's very cool. I like it. I have lots of skulls. I find them out on woodland walks and I think they're rather beautiful, so I take them home. I will show you some of my skulls, and I'm going to start with one of my bigger ones. I like the big ones. I fuck a friend. This is one of my bigger ones. It's about the size of my torso. It's a big deer, really big deer. Look at her teeth. Look at her big, massive teeth. They could chew kitten. They could chew through my fingers. So, all big and cunts. All big and beautiful. This is a fox. Lovely fox skull. Yeah, cunt. I fucked a cunt. Wizard Harry! I didn't know that fox, but I did know this squirrel. You can see that. It's a bit overexposed. But, yeah, this squirrel... I fucked your cunt. Hey! This girl used to visit my backyard. She had 3 children, and I loved her. And one day, she came to my garden, and she just laid down. And when I came back outside, she was dead. I thought she was having a snooze. But I let her rot away, and then I dug her up. I just took the skull afterwards. And the reason why I do that with some of my animals is because I can't stop them from disappearing forever. But I can keep them, I can keep a little piece of them. And that little piece of them is the last bit of evidence that she exists. And as long as I remember her, and as long as I appreciate her, then she gets to exist in some small way for just a little bit longer. And appreciating skulls is my way of keeping these people alive, just a tiny bit longer. I also think it's really cool that her entire consciousness, every single bit of her memory and her life, was stored in this little tiny bit here. Someone's whole identity was in there once. That's so cool. I'll never not be amazed by that. Hey! Still kind of creepy. I don't care. I love it. This is a crow. Beautiful crow. I have a few crows. Oh! I fucked a biscuit. So, very cool crow. I didn't know this crow. I just found it in a graveyard. It's quite a cool place to find a crow skull, I think. This is another one of my deer skulls, and I particularly love this one. I think it's beautiful. Look at those horns. Look at that fish. Oh, fuck that fish. I love all the bumps and ridges on the horns. They're all knobbly. It's beautiful. Hey! I really, really love this one. It's one of my favourites. I have a few deer skulls, but I think this one's my favourite. Dick. And this little brown skull here, it's really tiny. Hey! Was Menchie, who was a rat that I knew when I was younger. I really loved her. She was really beautiful, and she was really like a gentle rat. She never bit me. Do you mummify your exes? Mr. Crumpo. Well, none of them have died whilst I've been with them, but I would probably keep a dude's skull if he let me. I'd be really happy to. I think that'd be a good way to remember a human that you've loved, is keep their skull. I mean, it's how I remember Menchie. Kitten. Do you have a human skull? No, but I'd quite like one. You offering? You can have my skull when I die, but I intend to use it for a while to come. Cool, Mr. Pigs. I'd love your skull. Just take good care of it and use it for as long as possible. You know, I'd quite like you to live a long and happy life, but when you're done with it, you can send it to my PO box, mate. Oh! You're over this girl now. Oh dear, you've seen the weird side. I've scared you off. Kitten. A lot of people objectify these animals. They think they're just decorative items, and I don't really see them that way. And they're quite often hunting trophies and things like that, you know. And there's something that seems very, I don't know, like this is a trophy. This is a defeated animal. You know, when you make them a rug and you walk all over them, or you know, I don't know, there's just something about that doesn't sit right with me. I collect skulls as a way to honour and love and respect them. It's a way that I marvel at the fact that they existed and that they thought and they felt. It's kind of like a landmark to a moment in time where somebody existed. And this is a stick insect. It's actually real. His name was Muffins, and he was my friend for years. He's dried out now. And I loved him. He's a giant spiny Papua New Guinea. Oh, fuck you. I'm gonna put him down before I break him with a tick. I just found him wandering around in the world, and I took him home and called him Muffins. It was a tick at the time. I was calling everything Muffins. And yeah, I loved him. Yeah, I had him for a year, and he used to watch movies on my shoulder with me. Whenever there was an aeroplane, when I watched Dunkirk, good movie by the way, is Dunkirk. My biscuit's up you. My biscuit is up you. He used to raise his middle legs like this. I don't know why. I don't know whether it was fear or whether he was having fun. But whenever there was a plane, he'd do that. Maybe he thought it was a bird. And whenever it answered, he'd crawl on my shoulder. And because he's dried out, he was much bigger than this at one point. Like, he used to be like the size, he's kind of shrank. So he used to be way bigger than my hand. He was on my shoulder, and I answered the door, and the mailman screamed at me. Usually it's me who shouts at the mailman. But that time it was the other way round, and he scared the fuck out of me. Hey! I actually looked behind me like, what? And then realised it was poor little Muffins. He's so gentle and slow. Well, he was, bless him. I love how freaked out everyone is by this. I did have a bearded dragon, and I loved him. He was a bit stupid, but he was quite inbred. He used to be a stud, basically. And he would, you know when you run into a wall in a game and you kind of just trot on the spot with your nose against the wall? Well, Darwin would do that. He'd fuck my biscuit. Double dunk. Ooh. He'd like walk into anything white and just keep walking as if at some point he'd go through it. He just didn't understand white things. Bless him. Oh yeah, I haven't shown you any sea glass, so I'm also going to show you some sea glass. I've been an avid sea glass collector for many years. And I have bowls and bowls of some of my rarer finds. So here is some of my sea glass. Like, you can see a lot of kitten, Victorian marbles. And there's some shells in there too. But what I like about Dick is my kitten. Dick and a kitten. Fuck you. But this piece, I don't know if you can see it properly, but it's pink. And sea glass is rarely ever pink. Oh, Dick. So it's rare in itself just because it's pink, but it's fucking massive. It's a whole bottom of a bottle, and it's really well frosted. So like, that's a 1 in a million find. That really excites sea glass collectors. It really does. And this piece, I was considering making it into a pendant. It's like this lovely teal colour. Teal is rare. My dick is rare. Fuck you. So yeah, it's really thick and beautiful. I had an offer for £60 for this one, and I couldn't take it because it's so rare to find a piece like that. I fucking love it. It's gorgeous. So this is another bottle bottom that I found. It's this piece of sea glass. You can tell by the thickness that it's very, very old. We don't make glass like that, so it's probably between 150 and 400 years old. Although probably not 400 years old, to be fair, because it's not black. Quite a lot of glass from those days was black. And I nearly drowned getting it because the tide came in and I was in this little cove, like a secret cave, and I very nearly needed to call people to get out, but I waded out. Luckily the water wasn't too bad because the place where I go for this, a lot of people die, so I should have been more careful, but I didn't know any of that until after I'd been and explained that to someone, and they're like, yeah, lots of people die there. Woo! So if you go collect sea glass, take care, be safe, know your tides, don't go anywhere dangerous. Dick. Because sea glass is cool, but not that cool, not nearly dying cool. Why are you guys saying hella thick? Oh, right, because it's thick glass. Yeah, I like it thick. So these aren't marbles, these ones. They're cod stops. They're cod bottle stoppers. They're about 200 years old, between 1 and 200 years old. And they roll around in the sea, and most of the time they touch my cunt. Hey! They smash. But every now and again, in very rare circumstances, they roll around in every storm and bash against every rock and still stay whole. And they come out worth more money and all the more beautiful because they're frosted. And they're no longer clear. I don't know if you can actually see because the quality of the camera, but they're a lovely sea green colour. Oh! And yeah, like, I just love everything about that. I think there's like, I know this is cheesy, but I think there's like this message to like little objects like this where you can go through absolute fucking hell, things that should totally fucking break you, and come out all the more beautiful and all the more amazing for having been through it, and that is sea glass in a nutshell. So maybe that's why I like it so much. Could also be because it's shiny and cool, and pretty. But I think there's that to it too.